The public shaming by Liverpool and Egypt footballer Mohamed Salah appears to have had some effect on those running football in Europe. The football governing body of Europe, the UEFA, on Wednesday finally broke its silence on the Gaza genocide and posted a powerful banner from Udine, an Italian city which hosted the final of UEFA Super Cup between Paris Saint-Germain and Tottenham on Wednesday. The photo shared by UEFA carried a banner reading, "Stop killing children, stop killing civilians." Sharing the photo, the UEFA wrote on Twitter, and I quote, "From the UEFA Super Cup in Udine, the message is loud and clear. A banner, a call." End quote. While some welcomed this development, many were left seething at the cowardice shown by this spineless footballing body. That was because it refused to name Israel for killing children and civilians. Some of you may remember that Mo Salah had publicly embarrassed the UEFA for its cowardice in the aftermath of the cold-blooded murder of Suleiman al-Obeid by Israeli terrorists. Alubed was a prominent Palestinian footballer, a national hero for Palestinians, who called him Palestinian Pele. He was starving, and yet he felt too ashamed to seek help. However, when he simply couldn't bear the hunger pang, he traveled to the area designated for aid supply by Israeli terrorists and their bloodthirsty American partners from the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. The human animals that they are from the IDF and the GHF, they murdered him on the spot. As expected, his murder by Israeli and American terrorists evoked global condemnation. The UEFA too tweeted his photo with this caption, and I quote, "Farewell to Suleiman al-Obeid, the Palestinian Pele, a talent who gave hope to countless children, even in the darkest of times." End quote. Israeli terrorists had killed more than 400 Palestinian footballers before they brutally murdered al-Obeid. And yet, neither the UEFA nor the FIFA had cared to issue any condemnation, let alone throwing Israel out of the world football. Russia was punished with alarming pace for a lot less. That's the effing racist nature of these corrupt individuals running these institutions. Ukrainian victims were white, but Palestinian aren't. And they also happen to be Muslims. So why would these compromised racist individuals running these institutions act? Anyway, even Mo Salah, who has had his own share of criticism for not speaking enough against the ongoing genocide in Gaza, couldn't remain silent anymore as he asked the UEFA, and I quote, "Can you tell us how he died, where, and why?" End quote. This was a clear attempt to embarrass UEFA for its refusal to name Israel. Salah, breaking his silence, albeit too late in the day, appeared to have shaken the establishment. His tweet was viewed by 115 million people as it clocked 1.5 million likes and close to 400,000 shares. This was arguably one of the most viewed tweets on the Gaza Holocaust in favor of the victims. Hope Salah realizes just how powerful his single tweet can be. Now, days later, the UEFA has posted this photo. Clearly, this symbolism during the Super Cup took place at the behest of the UEFA, which is facing widespread condemnation, and rightly so, for its complicity in the Gaza genocide by its refusal to act against Israel and its teams. As I speak, Israeli terrorists and their American partners in crime have killed 100 more starving Palestinians, including 38 of those who had arrived to collect the so-called aid materials. These genocidal maniacs can't live for a day without murdering innocent, starving Palestinians, most of them children and babies. That's how barbaric and evil these Zionists are. Meanwhile, 238 people with more than 100 children have now been killed by Israeli-induced starvation in Gaza in the last few days alone. Two prominent names from world politics from recent past, namely Mary Robinson and Helen Clark, traveled to Gaza through the Rafah crossing this week. and they were left utterly shocked by the Israeli barbarity. Robinson is a former president of Ireland, while Clark is a former prime minister of New Zealand. Listen to their testimony here.
It's very important for us as elders to see the reality. We have been seen in the warehouse, the tents that have not been delivered, the generators that have not been delivered, the wheelchairs, the crutches, the children's books, other things that are not delivered, but some food is getting in. And it was interesting to talk to a driver who was being rejected for the second time because of minor problems, even though there is very good checking, as we know, by the Egyptian Red Crescent and by the UN in collaboration. Very good checking. And yet he was rejected, and this is for the second time. And we know that many are rejected for often for no reason at all, or for work reasons that although people are working on this side, they're not working as hard on the other side. All of the obstruction is on the other side. It is devastating. It is utterly devastating to see the sheer volume of vital materials sitting, oxygen cylinders, generators, wheelchairs, crutches. It's unbelievable.
We've come here because to see is to believe, and to see this crossing, which should be a place where people interact with each other, where people can come and go, where people aren't under blockade, where people who are ill can leave to come out, and to see it just silent for the people. It's absolutely shocking to us. And then to see full trucks being turned away. We know that a significant proportion of manifested trucks are turned away with vital supplies. So the world needs to know to put more pressure on for this catastrophe to end.
This has to stop.
Has to stop.
And there has to be a ceasefire, and there has to be an opening of all of the access, because these trucks are not enough. The people are starving, children are starving and dying of malnutrition. We are seeing an unfolding famine and an unfolding genocide, and it is not acceptable.
Even Doctors Without Border is convinced that Israeli terrorists led by war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu are deliberately starving Palestinians to death.
Is starvation being used as a weapon?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think we have desperately been calling out of this for months now. So in the primary healthcare clinic where I work, the number of patients on our malnutrition program has increased fivefold since May. These are children younger than 5 years old, as well as pregnant and lactating women. And we see indeed a pattern of hunger being used as a weapon against people, because it's not only the fact that not enough food is allowed to enter, it's also the chaos that has been created by allowing for people to become this hungry because the Israeli authorities have blocked aid for so long. This, of course, comes on top of the daily mass casualty incidents that we see at 8 sites. So the ones of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation in the south, but also in the north where I am, whenever we see the trucks entering the Zikim border, desperate people, hungry people go towards these trucks and they get shot at. I spoke a few days ago with a patient in one of our facilities. The man has lost his arm and was shot in the back because as he left one of the sites where he was able to take some flour, he was shot by snipers. And this is the devastating, cruel reality that we see here every day.
What Caroline Willman didn't mention here was the involvement of the Western countries in the ongoing forced starvation of Palestinians. Every single politician from the ruling class in the US, the UK, and the EU has his or her hands soaked in Palestinian blood. Let's not beat around the bush. This is the reality. They all are enjoying the slow and painful murder of Palestinians by Israelis with their help and can't wait for Gaza's ethnic cleansing to complete. You can't expect anything better from these racist, corrupt, and genocidal maniacs. That's it for me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism on buymeacoffee.com and Patreon. If you too think that our journalism is worth supporting, then you too should consider becoming part of it. Details are there in the description of this video. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.